In the state of Massachusetts, there are 24 fish that are recognized in the Sport Fishing Award program. Each species has a size requirement that you must reach in order for it to be eligible for an award. These fish are scattered throughout Massachusetts, just waiting to be caught for anybody willing to pursue them. My goal this year is to catch one fish big enough for each species. This is Northeast Outdoors, and welcome to pin hunting.
Holy shit. Oh, dude, that is a big fish. Oh my god. Look at this thing.
After getting my white perch pin out of my kayak, I really switched out of ice fishing mode and decided to start targeting open water. The only issue with this is that the only bodies of water that were open around me were ponds near the coast and rivers, so I had to pick a species and one of those. With that in mind, I decided to chase one of my favorite ice-out species, which is the common carp. So on day one, I decided to go to one of my most productive carp spots that I had a lot of luck in last year. Well, ladies and gents, welcome back to another episode of Pin Hunting. The river that I like to carp fish has melted, so I'm going to be targeting those today. The water level is a little bit low, but I think we should still make out pretty well. I've done pretty well carp fishing this time of year. It's currently the beginning of March. If we can cross this one off the list real fast, then pike's going to be next, because the other river spot that I like to fish for pike is thawed out too. So very excited. Hopefully we can get into something today. Gonna have to do a little bit of ice breaking to get to where I want to be. And also I forgot my tripod, so if there's some weird camera angles today, I do apologize. But I'm gonna pack up, get over to the spot. Tell you what, for my second outing in open water this year, I'm throwing some absolute darts. All right, enough lollygagging. I need to get my stuff set up for carp. Now, next order of business is gonna be making the bait. Forgot to bring a can opener, so we're doing this the old-fashioned way. What I like to do is I'll get big thing of oats, put about half of that in. Now I'll do 1 can of corn, make sure all that juice gets in there. I would recommend bringing a can opener so you're not a dummy like me and take your finger off. Then get some strawberry jello. Brand doesn't matter, just buy the cheapest thing you can find. These carp aren't royalty, they don't need that name brand stuff. Dump that whole thing in there, then go ahead and mix this around. You don't want to kind of like crush it up as you're mixing it, squish that corn a bit. You want this to be almost like a dough. It's starting to get there. Now, it's getting to the point where you can kind of just squish it and it forms a ball. And at that point, I'll let it sit for about like 10 minutes. While that's happening, I'm gonna set up my carp rods. Pretty sure on this I just have 30-pound braid with a 20-pound fluoro leader. Usually I have a fish finder rig, but if you get these pyramid sinkers in a barrel swivel that's big enough to block where it goes, this will just slide up and down. You don't even need the rig. These are literally just my striper rods. They work perfectly fine for carp. Now usually I like to tie a hair rig, but I'm kind of lazy to do that right now. So I'm just gonna set these out and see how they do. Since I'm not doing a hair rig, I'll just show you guys how I do a bear hook with this. I have special carp hooks I ordered a while ago. They've been doing pretty well, so I kept using them. I ordered a bunch of different sizes, but I find myself using the 8s and the 6s more. If you ever need hooks, Gamakatsu's the way to go. They've never done me dirty. So, just take this hook. I usually do 3 kernels of corn. Feed it straight onto there. That's looking pretty good. Can't really see the hook, but the point's exposed. Nothing's in the way. Then at this point, just take a ball of this bait, Water's still super cold, so I'm not going to do a ton of bait. They're not going to be feeding super heavy. Just get a decent ball of this stuff, clump it around your weight. Should look something like that, just a ball. I take my hook, just put the point in the top right here, and that's it. Just got to run this out in my kayak. When I am running it out, I'll loosen this drag a ton. Just let that hang there for a little bit. Then just hold this line, hop in the yak, and off we go. That's the sound I want to hear after I set this up. Now, it doesn't really matter if your hook's still in the bait ball. You can see mine's just hanging. That method works best if you're casting. It keeps your bait ball just right next to it. It keeps your hook directly in the bait ball. But I find that sometimes casting these things out, your bait ball will fall off on the way over there, and then your hook's just all the way away from your bait ball, and that doesn't make sense. So I found a better method is just bringing my kayak with me and pedaling the whole thing out here. And I mean, I can go a pretty far distance. I like to go all the way to the bank over here. And just drop this wherever you'd like it. I like to put mine pretty close to all this brush. Just make sure not to run over your line if you do have any type of motor or something, because then you just did all that for nothing. Now when you get back to your rod, ideally when you drop your bait ball, everything's all tensioned up nice, but sometimes that just doesn't happen. So in a river like this especially, I like to just make sure this is fully tensioned up. Just reel it slowly until that starts clicking, and that's pretty good. Now I'm gonna repeat that same process with my other rod. Now both the carp rods are set up and I can sit and relax. My phone's broken, waiting for a new screen to come in. So it's just me and nature today. Now when you tension these rods too, you don't want to make them super loose. It needs to be kind of firm enough to hold that hook set. And when they start running with it, you want it to be firm enough to where it'll actually dig the hook more into them. Most of the time you're not actually gonna get up to your rod and like set the hook. It just happens pretty quickly. So I like to just leave it firm enough to where I know it's gonna hold that hook, but not too firm to where it's gonna yank my rod out of the holders or something like that.
Now for the next hour or so, I sat around waiting for a carp to bite. But in typical day one fashion, I did not find what I was looking for. After about an hour, I reset my rods. Usually I like to rebait everything because the current will drag all of the bait downriver, or the little fish like perch and bluegill will pick everything away and not leave anything there for the carp. After resetting my rods, I decided to explore the river a little bit more, looking for pike or anything else that would really bite. I had no luck doing that, but I did run into a group of dogs. Shortly after running into them is when this clip happened, and I'm sure some of you have seen it already.
What the hell? Come. Nah, you're all good. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh. Yeah, you're good. I saw him running across the ice and I was like, oh man. You want me to just bring him back to that point?
It's up to you. If you want to toss him, try to toss him back on the ice, he'll be all right. I'll follow.
I might bring him back there because I'm probably going to flip over. Dude. Got troublemakers.
Love those paddles.
Yeah, right? They're so nice. Come on. I love my paddle over there, so I can't get too much closer.
Come on, Cody. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Words can't.
Yeah, no, you're good.
And the hit you took on that. Can I help you in any way? Can I go get that? Or?
No, I'm just going to paddle back there. I just need to get out of all these sticks so I can pedal it. Yeah, no problem.
Have a better day.
Yeah, you too.
I will because of you.
Yeah.
The only thing I can do is leave you with a joke. Hang on. Okay. Tell the vegan at the party.
How?
Oh, they'll tell you. Bar joke.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I might have to use that. What the hell just happened, dude? Well, that was an interesting experience. Oh, I'm soaked. I was just sitting here. Like, I've been waiting for a carp to bite for a while now. I'm just sitting here and I see this guy's dogs come running out across the ice chasing some geese that just landed. And I was thinking to myself, like, they're going to the edge of that ice. It gets pretty thin. Like, they were running fine along the whole way, and then it gets pretty thin towards the edge. And I see them jump over the ice, try and get to these geese or whatever. And they're trying to climb back up onto the ice. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way, like, that ice is too thin. So that guy noticed, and I think he was about to jump in and start swimming over, but I went over my kayak and I was like trying to figure out how to pull them up onto the ice without flipping myself over. And I couldn't really do it, so I just grabbed one of them by the collar and frickin' yanked them onto my kayak. And the other one, I was trying to like maneuver my kayak over there. It was hard to like get in a good position, but eventually I got to her and I just grabbed her, pulled her up onto the ice and shoved her butt on. She went running back to her owner. Well, that could have ended poorly, but good thing I was here, dude. Oh my God. I'm very thankful I had this Old Town kayak and not that crappy plastic one I used to have, because I would have been going for a swim. What an interesting fishing trip. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get skunked today, but you know, I've had some fun.
Now, I did end up getting skunked that day, but I'm still glad I went out there. Glad the dogs were okay, and as always, I'm just happy to be out there. I did try switching spots about an hour after that, but even then, I didn't even see a bite. And to save you guys some time, on day number 2, I tried the same spot again, thinking maybe the chummed water would bring in some fish. But it didn't seem to help very much, as it resulted in the same outcome. After these 2 days, I decided I need to switch my spot entirely. I did a bunch of research, used some of the fishing knowledge I've gained over my years, and put together a plan for day number 3.
Well, ladies and gents, this is attempt number 3 for carp. First 2 days didn't go so well, but I did some thinking last night, and I figured I probably shouldn't be fishing the same spots as last year, because last year the winter was much milder, the water was a little warmer at this time, and right now there's still a good amount of ice and the water's pretty freezing. So I had my suspicions about a spot, but I did some research last night, went on the Catfishing Carp channel, ran by Luke from Outdoor Boys. I'm sure any of you bottom fishermen out there know who that guy is, but I watched some of his videos, kind of solidified the idea that I should come and try this spot. But this is a river that dumps into like a bay pond type of area, and right where it dumps in, there's a nice deep pocket. So I'm figuring they're either gonna be deeper in that pocket or they're gonna be in the margin between the shallower water and the deeper water. Because usually it's a bit warmer down there during this time of year. So I'll put one rod in the deepest part and I'll put one rod closer to where the river meets the mouth of this little bay. And I think I should get into something today. But as you know, only one way to find out. Catch some fish or get skunked trying. I'm like one of those guides on the Zambezi River trying to stick my oar into the ground and get my well-paying customer into a good fishing spot. I feel like the Titanic right now. Bet if Old Town Canoe and Kayak manufactured the Titanic, that thing would still be floating today. We may be home free. I still have everything I had when I left. Get out to this main part, get this freaking twig out of here. Jeez. I think we're good. I think I can deploy the pedals. See if I nail some underwater log or something and ruin my day. I should really try pike fishing this place. This is like prime time stuff right here. Well, hope this camera's framed correctly. Left my launcher at home, so I'm just sitting in my kayak. I got one rod in about 18, 20-ish feet of water. Other rod is further up in this cove, about 6, 8 feet. Curious to see if we get into anything. It would be very nice.
I set one rod up in the deepest hole, and I set another rod up in the shallower cove that I was sitting in. I was hoping that any carp that would be cruising by, maybe in the warm shallows, would come into this cove to feed. After about 45 minutes of waiting, this finally happened.
Oh, that's a fish. Yep, there we go. It's nothing big, but it's a fish. Oh, maybe it's a little bigger than I thought. Yep, that's a carp. No way, I was starting to lose hope. Oh my God. Yeah, it's definitely not a huge one, but it's a fish nonetheless. Little guy. No way we got a carp. Oh my God. Been looking for you, buddy. Can't believe it. I'm gonna measure him just for reference, but this is definitely not the size that I need. I need something a bit bigger. Get this hook out of him. I mean, this is still a pretty big one. Absolutely covered in slime. Not too shabby. Little missile right there. Give you one more look at this guy. I don't want to keep him out too much longer. God, what a weird looking fish. They're so cool though.
Well, this wasn't the monster I was looking for. It was definitely a big morale boost after not catching anything the 2 days prior. This fish also told me that I was in the right area, but maybe not in the right spot. So after waiting another hour after this fish, I decided to move to a different location that was just upriver from me.
Well, made my move, set everything up. Kind of sitting in a weird position for getting to these rods, but I guess that's fine. There's a chance I might need to launch my kayak to land some of these fish, especially if they're bigger. That is if I get any, but I don't know. I feel pretty good about this spot. We're just gonna have to wait it out. There we go. Let's go, baby. This one feels a little better. I just looked up and all of a sudden my rod was freaking bouncing around. Great time for this thing to die. Come on up here, buddy. Need my freaking net. Come on. Oh, there we go. There's another one on land, baby. This guy got hooked pretty far in there. I don't know if I have a pair of pliers in this. Hope I do. Dang, this thing is bent out. What the hell? Well, that didn't take too long over here. This one's about the same size. Still gonna measure them though. What a crazy looking fish. These things are nuts. Maybe a touch bigger. He's 26 inches. I need to get a landing mat for these things so I don't have them thrashing around in the dirt. It's a decent one though. Pretty average, I'd say. Get a few shots of him, send him on back.
Now, after catching the second fish, I was very confident in my spot and what I was doing. I figured that it was just a matter of time before a big enough fish took my bait. And with how fast I caught that first one after I moved spots, I figured it wouldn't be long.
Yeah, I really need to find out a better system for landing these things and filming and whatnot. I should probably just get a landing pad where I can just let them sit while I'm doing whatever. I actually have this little hair rig hooked already tied. I think I might just use this thing. You can see how much this hook bent out. This is wild. I mean, just look at that. That's freaking insane. Well, I have a hair rig hook on this one now. So we'll see if this kind of helps with hookups a bit more. I don't really think it will, but I used to always use these, but I got a little lazy and didn't tie them for the first couple sessions. There were some leftover ones from last year in my box that I just saw though, so I'm just gonna use these for now. We'll see if it makes a difference. No way, there's another one. Oh. They must be piled in here, dude. I'm not gonna horse this one like I did the last one. Hopefully my rod doesn't bend out. Ooh. He's using the current. Getting upriver from me. Seems about the same size. This one might be a bit bigger, actually. Can't really tell. I think he looks a bit bigger. Oh yeah, yeah, he's bigger. Oh, he really did not like seeing me. Come here, buddy. Yep, swim right up here. Oh yeah, he's 100% bigger. I'm tripping. Well, dude, what a day of fishing this is turning out to be. Yeah, this one's definitely bigger. Oh my god. Can't even find a comfortable way to hold this thing. Oh, there we go. What a freaking alien. Yeah, let me measure this thing real quick. It might actually be pretty close. Well, fellas, we got the pin. 31's right there. That's clearly over. Let's go, boys. Come on. Certainly a bit cold to be fishing for these things right now, but who said we can't get it done? Yeah, that is a good looking fish right there. Ah, just gotta love it. Just gotta love it, man. That's a face only a mother could love.
After catching this fish, I was very glad that I made the move that I did, because not only did I get my pin, but I found a new fishing spot that I keep returning to over the years. And trust me, I will be back, because after these first two fish, I still kept catching fish.
Getting nibbled on this one. There we go. Ah, that's a fish. Ah, there we go. This one might be a little smaller. Dude, we're on a freaking roll today. Are you kidding me? Always a good day when you can get on them.
After fish.
Oh my god, another one. It just doesn't stop. Get over here, buddy. Kind of losing track now, but I think this is number 5 or 6.
After fish. Even after the camera turned off, I stayed for a bit longer, and I ended the day with 11 carp in total, which to date is my best carp fishing day ever. This video encapsulates the whole purpose behind pin hunting. My goal of this series was not only to catch a lot of big fish for each species, but also to tackle new bodies of water, find out where the fish are, and in the process, find new fishing spots for each time of the year. For most of my fishing career, I've usually fished the same spots, sometimes branching out to one or new spots every now and again. But doing this series forces me to explore new areas, find different species of fish, some of which I've never caught, and figure out how to fish new bodies of water. Now, thank you guys for watching today's video. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.